All right, let's just jump right into it. Picture this. It's the night before your business studies exam. You're trying to remember the difference between Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor, and your brain just feels like scrambled eggs. Who was the top-level guy again? Who was the one obsessed with stopwatches? Hey, don't worry. You are so not alone. This is a classic exam trap. But by the end of this little explainer, you'll be able to tell them apart in your sleep. I promise.
So, let's kick things off with the big question that really gets to the heart of this whole debate. Where does real management actually happen? Is it up in the fancy boardroom where they're making all the high-level strategy, or is it down on the noisy factory floor where the real work gets done? Just keep that question in the back of your mind, because how you answer it kind of shows whether you're thinking like Fayol or like Taylor. It's the secret to telling them apart.
Okay, so let's properly introduce our two contenders. First up, we've got Henri Fayol. You can think of him as like the master architect, you know? He's designing the entire organization from the very top. And in the other corner, Frederick Winslow Taylor. He's the hands-on engineer, totally obsessed with making every single task on the ground floor perfect. They both changed the game for management, but boy, did they come at it from completely different angles.
Honestly, this is the easiest way to lock them into your memory. Just think of Fayol as the boardroom guy. He's the CEO, right? He's looking at the whole company from a bird's-eye view. He cares about the big picture stuff, administration, general principles, that kind of thing. But Taylor, he's the factory floor guy. He's the engineer walking around with a stopwatch, laser-focused on making every single worker and every part of the process as efficient as it can possibly be.
Let's boil it down to what they really wanted to achieve. And by the way, this is straight out of the official marking schemes, so listen up. Fayol's main goal was all about improving the overall administration. He came up with these universal principles that any manager, anywhere, could use to run things smoothly. Taylor's focus, on the other hand, was way more specific. He just wanted to crank up productivity and efficiency right there on the shop floor, finding that one best way to do every single job.
And here's where things get juicy. You see, for the most part, you can have both their ideas running in the same company. No problem. But there is one specific area where they have a direct, head-on crash. And it's all about a very simple question. How many bosses should one worker have?
So, Fayol, our boardroom guy, he laid down what he saw as a golden rule for any sane organization: unity of command. The logic is super simple, right? If you have one boss, you know exactly who to listen to. You know who you report to. There's no confusion, no one telling you to do two different things at once, no excuses. It's just a clean, simple, logical chain of command.
Fayol's rule, it seems like total common sense, doesn't it? Well, Taylor, our factory floor guy, he looked at that and thought, no way. That is completely inefficient for how work actually gets done. So what did he do? He decided to absolutely shatter that rule with a pretty radical idea. So, Taylor's big idea was something called functional foremanship. He basically argued that no single supervisor could be an expert in everything. So, he split the job. You get 4 specialists in charge of planning the work, and then you get 4 different specialists in charge of actually doing the work. You know, the speed boss, the inspector, the whole crew. And the result for that poor worker on the factory floor? They're getting orders from all 8 of them. That's right, 8 bosses. Let's be absolutely crystal clear on this. Taylor's 8-boss system is a direct violation of Fayol's one-boss rule. This isn't just a minor disagreement. It's a fundamental clash in philosophy. And you can bet your bottom dollar the examiner loves, and I mean loves, to build tricky questions around this exact point. But now you know what to watch out for. Okay, theory is one thing, but getting the marks comes from applying it. So, this next bit is your secret weapon. It's how you're going to tackle any case study that tries to trip you up on Fayol versus Taylor. Let's crack the code.
All right, you might want to screenshot this slide. Seriously, this is your exam keyword decoder. It's basically a cheat sheet. If you're reading a case study and you see words like shop floor, efficiency, or productivity, an alarm should go off in your head that says Taylor. If you see words like administration or general principles, that's your cue for Fayol. These are the trigger words that instantly tell you whose world you're in.
Okay, time for a pop quiz. Let's put this into practice with a classic exam-style question. So, meet Suman. She works in a factory. Here's her problem. She gets instructions from 2 different people: the planning in charge and the production in charge. Does that sound a little familiar? Okay, take a second and think. The situation involves 2 bosses giving orders. But the question is very specific. Which principle of Fayol is being violated here? What do you think?
The answer is unity of command. It has to be. Suman has two superiors, which directly stomps all over Fayol's one-boss rule. But here's the trap. The situation they're describing is Taylor's functional foremanship in action. But, and this is so important, the question didn't ask what technique was being used, it asked which of Fayol's principles was being broken. So what's the lesson here? It's huge. Always, always, always read the question carefully to see exactly who they're asking about.
Okay, let's bring it all home. To make absolutely sure this stuff is cemented in your brain, here is the final, ultimate scorecard comparing our two management giants. This is pure gold, pulled right from the official marking schemes.
This table just lays it all out perfectly. First, perspective. Fayol is top-down management, Taylor is bottom-up from the factory floor. Next, unity of command. They're polar opposites. Fayol is a huge supporter, a staunch proponent. Taylor, he totally violates it with his 8 bosses. And finally, their focus. Fayol is about managing the entire company, while Taylor is all about managing the actual work. So after all that, who actually wins the big debate? Who's right? Well, the answer is, they both are. It turns out their ideas aren't really contradictory, they're complementary. Think of it like this. You use Fayol's big picture principles to manage the company, and you use Taylor's super detailed techniques to manage the work. Any smart organization is actually going to use a bit of both.
So there you have it. The great management debate. Totally decoded. Now that you're an expert, here's one last thing to chew on. Think about your own school. Does the administration's approach feel more like Fayol's, with general rules and a clear chain of command? Or is it more like Taylor's, always looking for the one most efficient way to schedule a class or run an exam? The answer might actually surprise you.
Question 1. On Fayol versus Taylor. Unity of command versus direction. Differentiate between unity of command and unity of direction on any 3 bases. The correct answer is 1. Meaning. Unity of command implies one subordinate should receive orders from only one superior. Unity of direction implies one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. 2. Aim. Unity of command prevents dual subordination. Unity of direction prevents overlapping of activities. 3. Implications. Unity of command affects an individual employee. Unity of direction affects the entire organization. Explanation. This comparison illustrates the fundamental difference in perspective between the two theorists. Fayol's unity of command, one boss, focuses on avoiding confusion for the individual employee, whereas unity of direction, one plan, focuses on aligning the entire organization's efforts toward a common goal. Question 2. On scientific techniques, method and time study. Leena has been appointed as the operations manager. She promotes Kushagra. Kushagra concludes that accumulating and then processing orders in batches is the best way to minimize cost. Through several readings, Leena finds that the standard time is 72 hours. Identify and explain the techniques used by Leena and Kushagra to improve the performance of the employees. The correct answer is 1. Method study, used by Kushagra to determine that batch processing was the best method to minimize cost. 2. Time study, used by Leena to fix the standard time of 72 hours for 100 pieces. Explanation. This case applies Taylor's scientific approach to modern operations. Kushagra applied method study to find the one best way of doing the job, batching, to reduce production costs. Leena applied time study to determine a standard benchmark, 72 hours, for a well-defined job, which helps in calculating labor costs and incentive schemes. Question 3. On nature of principles. Henry Fayol's principle of discipline, which emphasizes obedience to organizational rules and employment agreement, is evolved out of the experience and collective wisdom of managers. The nature of principle of management reflected through the above statement is: options are A. Universal applicability, B. Flexible, C. Mainly behavioral, D. Formed by practice and experimentation. The correct answer is D. Formed by practice and experimentation. Explanation. Unlike the rigid laws of pure science, management principles are evolutionary. As highlighted in the question, they are born from experience and collective wisdom, confirming that they are formed by practice and experimentation, rather than theoretical derivation alone. Question 4. On functional foremanship. Briefly explain the technique of functional foremanship as given by F.W. Taylor. The correct answer is, functional foremanship is an extension of the principle of division of work to the shop floor. It advocates separating planning and execution functions. Taylor proposed 8 specialists, or foremen, to guide a worker, 4 under the planning in charge, instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinarian, and 4 under the production in charge, speed boss, gang boss, repair boss, inspector. Explanation. This technique highlights the sharpest contrast between Taylor and Fayol. While Fayol advocated for one boss, unity of command, Taylor argued that a single foreman could not possess all necessary qualities, intelligence, grit, knowledge. Therefore, he split the role into 8 specialist bosses to ensure maximum efficiency on the shop floor. Question 5. On functional foremanship. Application. The factory manager of Manik Steel Plant, Musadi Lal, was in dilemma over workers shirking work. He discussed the problem with one of his retired friends, Kanti Lal, who suggested him to appoint 8 supervisors who would be specialists in their own fields and would be assigned work according to his or her qualities. Identify and explain the technique of scientific management discussed above. The correct answer is functional foremanship. Explanation. The mention of appointing 8 supervisors, who are specialists, is the definitive key word for Taylor's functional foremanship. This separates the planning aspect, preparing the work, from the execution aspect, doing the work, ensuring that workers are supervised by experts in every specific domain. Question 6. On Fayol versus Taylor. Contributions. Differentiate between contributions made by F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol on any 3 bases. The correct answer is 1. Perspective. Taylor focused on the shop floor level, lower level, while Fayol focused on the top level of management. 2. Unity of command. Taylor did not feel it was important, 8 bosses, while Fayol was a staunch proponent of it. 3. Focus. Taylor focused on increasing productivity, while Fayol focused on improving overall administration. Explanation. This question requires a direct comparative analysis. Taylor was a scientist improving the factory floor. Fayol was a practitioner improving the administration. Their approaches were complementary but distinct in focus and hierarchy. Question 7. On scientific techniques/Fayol's principles. Briefly explain any 3 of the following techniques of scientific management given by F.W. Taylor. A. Method study. B. Functional foremanship. C. Standardization. D. Differential piece wage system. Or, briefly explain any 3 of the following principles of management given by Henry Fayol. A. Unity of command. B. Equity. C. Remuneration. D. Initiative. The correct answer is, refer to specific explanations for each technique or principle. Explanation. This question offers a choice between the 2 schools of thought. Taylor's techniques, like standardization, focus on the one best way and engineering efficiency. Fayol's principles, like equity and initiative, focus on human behavior, fairness, and fostering a psychological connection between the employee and the organization. Question 8. On scientific techniques specific. Explain any 2 techniques of scientific management from the following. A. Method study. B. Motion study. C. Time study. The correct answer is method study, finding the one best way of doing the job. Motion study, eliminating unnecessary movements, like lifting or sitting, to save time. Time study, determining standard time for a well-defined job. Explanation. Taylor's techniques are precise. Method study looks at how work is done. Motion study looks at the physical movements involved. And time study looks at how long it should take. These form the core of scientific efficiency.